Okay, hello. It's a bright and sunny day here in Waterloo. Got the street traffic over there. Hi guys, it's Chris. I'm going to show you a tour of our office today because we're going to be moving some stuff around really soon, and I thought it would be nice to document the current layout of the office. You guys can kind of see our setup. Let me clean the lens here. There we go. So that's the street there, and this is the parking lot, and this is our primary door here. And I'm just going to take you inside and you can get to see what it's all about. So right off the bat, coming in the door, we've got this kind of display area here set up. We try to show off some of the stuff that we've done on the machine, both with the mill one and with the long mill. You can see we've done some pretty nice carvings. A lot of this stuff we do at shows. And this is to kind of like show to guests or anyone that's coming to visit us in the office, to give them an understanding, like if they've never heard of CNC machines before, we can use it as a demonstration to explain to them, you know, how all of this stuff works and what sort of projects you're able to make on the machine. Here's Louie. Oh, look at that. He's a little bit camera shy. So, basically the way that the office is divided is this area is where a lot of the packing happens. In the back is where we do a lot of our testing. In the corner back there is where we have our 3D printing farm. Over here are the desks that we do our work at. And then through this door is where we do the final packaging of the machines and ship them out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the office area and grab Andy and get him to tell you about the 3D printer setup. So this is the office area here. Okay, are you ready?
For what?
You're going to talk about the 3D printers.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Just to walk over there and tell them the printers we use and the setup we have and stuff like that.
Okay, well, welcome to our 3D printing farm. As far as I know, we have like, what, 38-ish printers?
Yeah.
Which we use for doing production use for a lot of the parts that are used with the long mill and for industrial and stuff like that. So on this side we have all our Ender printers, Ender 3 printers, and there's a couple on this side. And we have Prisha 3 Mark III's. All of them are currently out of commission except that one. Yeah, they need to get fixed. But we got all these printers. We have a couple of Anycubic Megas, which are actually the first batch of 3D printers that we bought for like during the Kickstarter time when we had our long mill come out. This is our grandpa printer. We call it the grandpa printer because this is like the oldest 3D printer that we have. This is like back when we first started the company. We bought this on Amazon for like, I think it was like $300 to $400, and this has like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on it. We've like changed so much stuff on it. It's currently not working. I think we need to replace the extruder, but it's worked. Like, we've had like tons and tons of these, and this is like the only one that survived.
That's like, I think we printed like 35 kilometers of filament on it or something.
Something ridiculous. It's like, no, I think I worked it out that if you put the filament from here to Toronto, That would be like how long it would be.
Oh snap!
I think.
So like more than 100 kilometers.
Something like that. It's something crazy, but this has been like this. We call it the printer or grandma printer if you think kids are female.
Yeah, grandma, grandpa.
Anyways, but yeah, that's our printer. So we do a lot of printers because a lot of times the printers break down and they need to get fixed, but we have enough to keep production going.
Yeah, like this guy's not running right now.
During
this guy's not running. Those guys aren't running.
The other thing I can mention is that we name all the we have when we have students or other people who come, we let them 3D print we let them name the 3D printers. So you know, Fawaz was one of our vet students. We have Nadi, who used to help us with packing. Jason's girlfriend, who is also one of our
there's Jason.
Vet students. Yeah, there's Jason. And then this is Bob Marley. Jason named this after Bob Marley because it's always jamming. That's like the funniest thing in this office. McKenna's given like some of the machines Nigerian names. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. If we have a special guest, maybe we can name a 3D printer for them.
Yeah, I think there's a couple that still don't have names.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but they're almost all named at this point.
Yeah.
I think this guy doesn't have a name yet. He's still alive. But yeah, you can see like all of these printers are currently printing parts that are going to be shipped out. These are all long mill parts that are being made right now.
So I think for every batch, we print about 500 kilograms of filament per batch, maybe a bit more. So yeah, it's a pretty great operation for the most part, but it's cool. And then we have bins for all the parts that are in.
Yeah, we've started to become a little bit more organized because these were in like cardboard boxes before, but now we've got everything labeled based on if they've been cleaned or what have you. What are the other common questions we get about the printer farm?
A lot of people ask what kind of material we use. We use Bond Feeder PLA Plus. They're a company that's based in Taiwan, but they have an office in Vaughan, Ontario. So we're pretty good friends with what's his name? I guess we're not very good friends. Anyways.
Wasn't it like Jason or something?
I don't know. I can't remember why I can't remember his name. Oh, it's Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah, so if you need high quality filament, get in touch with Daniel.
We know him very personally.
I've been to his house. But yeah, the filament's really high quality. We've gone and like used so many different types of filaments and like different settings for the printers to nail down the highest strength and quality. So yeah, if you check out what people have said on Facebook, like the quality of the prints are like insane. They're really good. So
yeah, I mean the last thing you want to be doing when you've got a 3D printing farm is first of all having to clean up all the stringing or like any elephant footing or anything like that after the fact. So we work hard to make sure that the parts not only perform well, but they also look really nice right off the printers, because then that ensures good quality, and it minimizes the amount of cleanup that we have to do, so that they're all dimensionally accurate right off the machine.
Yeah. Other like changes, upgrades. We replaced all the extruder.
Oh yeah.
With aluminum extruders. Reason is because the plastic ones that come stock, where the filament goes into the extruder, it basically just slices it in half because of like just it rubbing on the plastic for hours and hours and hours. And we also have glass beds, which we got. Basically, you put a little bit of glue, and then once it cools down, it pops off really easily. So that's a new upgrade that we just put onto all the beds. We were using PEI were using flexible PEI beds before, but we found that the strength of because the temperature is more stable on the glass, it seems to be making parts that are more strong. Yeah. So
yeah, we have small modifications, like we print these like little knobs. It helps with changing out the filament faster, and on the Anycubics, we've printed some of our own bed leveling knobs on the bottom for easier adjustment. You can see some more over there.
Yeah.
But I think
any other questions?
I think that's mostly. Well, in terms of like print settings and stuff like that, we already have a post that talks about the print settings we use.
Yeah. Well.
Generally.
Yeah. Like it works for our printers. I think if you're just printing a couple parts out, it doesn't matter too much, as long as you have like fairly high infill settings and you don't go too fast. But we have our print farm optimized for all of the parts because obviously we're printing like thousands and thousands of parts. Saving a couple of minutes per part or adjusting the temperature and whatnot to improve the strength is a big deal for us. So.
Yeah. The thing you want to maximize at the end of the day is your layer adhesion so that your parts are nice and strong. If you're printing them on your own, if you have to do some cleanup of stringing or whatever after the fact for a couple parts, it's probably fine.
Yeah. A lot of times we take a hammer to all the parts to see if it breaks or not.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cool. I think that's everything then.
Alright, well, enjoy the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
I'll be back and doing other stuff.
See you, Andy. Oh yeah, one thing I missed was our wall of shipped machines. This is something that always keeps us quite excited to see and be able to track the orders as they come in. You can see our history. This doesn't include 2016, which is when we actually started. But you can see our history of selling the original Mill 1 and then moving on to Mill 1 version 2. The number of units we're selling per month. Then the Mill 1 version 3. And you can see that's where the long mill Kickstarter began. And is kind of trucking along as we were working to fulfill the orders. And it's been very exciting and rewarding, having worked really hard to finish cleaning up the backlog of machine orders, that now more people have been interested in purchasing our machines. And this month has been a very exciting month for us, as you can see, finishing off May strong. So that kind of let us reach one milestone, which is that we finally surpassed selling a total of 1,000 machines. And I'm hoping that another milestone will quickly come as well, which is that we'll surpass selling 1,000 long mills. That, I think, would be very cool. So, as I already pointed out, there's the office area here. We store some of the add-ons over here, and the rest of them are all stored here. This is kind of, that's Akena's desk, and he deals a lot with managing the orders that come in and out every day. He's just left because I'm filming a little bit past 5 right now, so, but this is kind of his domain here. He deals with, he has all of the small parts and whatnot, and he prints all the labels off here. You know, you got things like touch plates and whatnot down here. So anyway, I will move on to the next part of the office, which is the testing area. We kind of store some spare stuff back here, and we do a lot of testing. You're gonna see a video about this soon. In the back area here, before I go into the back testing area, the shelf that's back there is holding the inventory from the past run of production of the Mill 1s, and we kind of have on the shelving here, this is kind of like our stack of in-house Mill 1s that are various versions, some of which we use for testing. as I said, things are quite messy right now because we're actually getting ready to expand our office space, and I'll show you that soon. But this is the testing area back here. We've got assorted tools and whatnot scattered about. Assorted materials in the back that we use for cutting, hardware, wiring, tools. This is our primary long mill testing machine that we've been running pretty non-stop for almost a year now, and it runs great. You can see we have some various things set up on it for testing, and you know, the laser and whatnot. But we use this for cutting almost every single day to make the dust shoe bases. And so it helps us do our own in-house production, and it helps us to quality test our machines at the same time, because we're using it in a manufacturing environment that's probably on the higher end of what should be expected for our machines. Obviously, you want to stay safe while you're cutting on the machine. And in case you're wondering what our dust collection system looks like, this is basically it. A bin with a cyclone on top of it, hooked up to a larger size vacuum. This is a rigid vacuum. I think we got it from Canadian Tire. And that's what hooks up to the dust chute and allows us to keep everything relatively clean while we're cutting. Obviously, that's also taken care of by the fact that the machine's very isolated from everything else. Or isolated enough. Okay, moving on to the next area. This is where we currently are doing the most reorganizing, but it used to be fully for packing and storing material, and now that's going to be changing. But you can see that it's a bit on the empty looking side right now. I think we have a little over 100 machines still left in inventory, and new inventory is on the way. And so this is kind of why we're also taking the chance to shuffle things around. You can see these shelves are kind of in two layers. This layer back here has parts that have already been packed. Oh, you can also see the pallet of 3D printing filament. We get, I think, 2 of these in normally. They're completely filled with spools of filament. But yeah, you can see from the back here the stuff that's been packed, and the stuff along the front. You can see we packed the control boxes here. This is a testing jig that we use to test the drivers. These are some stacks of control boxes that have been put together. The hammering you heard before was John putting the knobs together for our dust shoe. This is the test jig we use for testing the control boxes before they get put in the foam, to make sure that everything's soldered together correctly and it's working properly. This is the soldering station that we have, where the drivers are soldered onto the boards before the boards are put into their steel boxes. This is John. What work are you doing right now? You're putting this. Oh, the screws.
Yeah, the wood screws.
Okay.
Yep.
Got lots of bags of wood screws. So we ordered all the raw wood screws in. These are actually particle board screws, and then John's sorting them and bagging them up into the correct quantities.
Yep.
And this is also where we do some of the packing off of this computer here and off that printer there. And then this is the last area, where I won't show the boxes because they've all got addresses on them, but you can see all these long mill boxes have been packed. They go out the garage door here. And we've got some more stuff that's available here. So basically what happens in this room is you come in with all of your various components that combine together to form the long mill box, such as the rails and the 3D printed parts and all of the hardware and stuff like that. And the add-ons as well, which are specific to each individual. And then this is where we pack them all up on the table. Right there. So, and we also have our fridge and microwave here for making up our food, and we mostly just eat at our desks over there. So, the last section, which is a new addition to our office, is this blank space back here. This space back here used to be occupied by our landlord, and as of today, it's now going to be available to us to expand into. So let me turn the lights on in here. Ta-da! Ta-da! So this is very exciting because we've only been in our office for a year now, and the current office space is, if I recall, I think it's at least 3 times larger than the existing office space we were in before we moved here. And we've only been in here a year and it's already quite filled up. Our 3D printing farm takes up quite a bit of space. The testing area is already gotten overgrown. The packing area, we have a couple desks, but we can't dedicate them to specific packing tasks. We kind of have to keep switching them out as we go through the packing cycle, because we don't have enough tables to actually accommodate the entire packing flow through. So what's exciting about this new space is that we're going to be able to move the testing area so that it's at the back here, and the storage is going to be near the front, and then that's going to allow us to pull things through to get packed in this area here. And what that's also going to do is it's going to free up this backspace here so that we can bring our desks into this area and make this whole front area so that it's a complete flow through. So we'll bring our raw materials in through this front door here, and then as they make their way through to storage, they'll be packed. So it's quite exciting. Let me think if there's anything else I haven't mentioned.
Louie.
I did mention Louie, but he's gone now. So I missed when he and Andy left, so I guess you guys won't be able to say goodbye to him, unfortunately. What else can I mention? Well, you can see we've got this stippled cutting made on the long mill of Louie. That's above Andy's desk. Andy also made this stippled cutout of me, looking quite creepy. And that's above my desk here. I think that's about everything. I know people are really interested to see what our printer setup is, and so I'm happy to show you that. I know people are also interested in seeing our machine setup, so I think I've shown you that as well. The old MacBook that you saw at the testing area over there is what we usually use to run the machine. Nothing fancy. And we just kind of do it all in this area here. If any of you haven't seen us at the shows, you can see that this is actually 2 pieces of MDF on top of each other, and there's a piano hinge joining them together. And that enables us, sometimes when we're at the shows, we'll actually pivot the whole top piece of MDF upwards to have the machine vertically. And then you can see the machine more from a distance, and it makes dust collection a little bit easier. So that's something that's pretty fun to do. You've probably saw a couple sneak peeks here and there as I've been going through the shop of a couple other things that we've been busy working on in terms of hardware development. And so I'll make sure to tell you more about that as it comes up. And there's been some other stuff that you wouldn't have been able to see because it's more along the lines of software development, which is also happening. That as soon as I can show it to you guys, I will. So I hope you enjoyed our virtual office tour. I'm sure many of you who have already been here will recognize the layout, other than a few things have kind of shifted around. And I'm sure I'll be doing another one of these soon because, as I say, we're going to be moving things around quite a bit. And I'm sure with the new layout it'll be a bit of a cleaner and a more streamlined look to the office. But in any case, I suppose the last thing I'll do is I'll just walk you back outside to the front. And in case you guys are wondering on the whole virus situation, I'll just let you know that we're keeping the number of people operating the office to a minimum, and the number of cases in our current area is quite low. So we're staying safe and we're watching out, and we're operating within our means, I believe. So that's about it. Thank you for watching, and talk to you later.